Now today's focus is on principles of service oriented architecture. Now we have completed this metadata policies and all those things. Now today's chapter is most importantly there will be a 10 marks question, 100%. That is the common principles of service oriented architecture. And what is exactly the service orientation and what are the principles of service. So what is most important about this sub point is that what are the common principles of service oriented, that is service layer and service orientation. So the focus will be on that part. But apart from that, we need to know what is the anatomy of service oriented architecture. So we'll talk about anatomy of service oriented architecture, and we'll go into detail about what are the common principles of service oriented architecture. Now this diagrammatic representation shows about service orientation and the enterprises. Now enterprise means what? You consider as Reliance as one of the biggest group, that we'll call it as enterprise. Tata, another enterprise. So we'll see that Tata is in telecom sector. Tata is in IT also. Tata is there in automobiles also. Tata is there in steels also, infrastructure also. So you will find there are multiple applications for different domains. So these multiple applications, when they integrate together for the purpose of business process, is actually being happening in enterprises. So enterprise is nothing but application logic of different application binded together and processed together with a business process, and this thing is called as an enterprises. This is a broad what we call as definition of enterprise. So this is a diagrammatic representation where you will find the different applications are integrated together by the business process, and this is called as a business logic that has been processed by business, and the application that as an application developer is being developed, it is called as an application logic. So there are two types of logic been implemented in enterprises. One is business logic and another is application logic. Now the service interface layer, positioning between enterprise layer and the promote application and business logic. Now we talk about service layer. Now whenever we talk about any applications, so this is an application layer. So we consider this as an enterprise. So enterprises will contain different types of applications. One application may be created with .NET. Another application may be created from J2EE, that is Java application. And third application may be a legacy, that means it might be in COBOL or Fortran, old applications. तो ये सब तीनों application को, that is called the application layer, को integrate जो करता है, ये तीनों application को जो integrate करता है, the thing is called as a service interface layer. The thing is called service interface layer. And whenever this application is converted into a business logic, a layer which is working in between this application logic and business logic is called as an service layer. Now this service layer contains business logic also, and this layer contains application logic also. So service oriented architecture is a middle part that will be integrating your different applications with your business logic with some set of services. These are a small set of services, that means a small set of programs that will be integrating with your applications, and that will be processed and transferred to their business logic. And this layer is not called as a service interface layer. The bottom layer is called as an application layer, and top layer is called as a business process layer. So this is one more important thing when we talk about that is called as an enterprises, and how these applications are being promoted by a different business logic. Now what is this service interface? Now these are you see these are the small services. Now these services are called as service interface, means whichever application has been developed in .NET or in a Java or in legacy system, these applications are being interacted by a type of services. A type of services are called as interface layer abstract services, are called as interface layer abstract services. यही जो services है ये आपके application के साथ interact करते हैं. And there is one more layer called as a service interface representation. This is a set of representation. This is a set of representation where physical service encapsulates. Now these are the physical services, and these are the actual services what service oriented architecture people interact, and that services is being provided to your business logic. So you have to keep in mind there are different types of services in your service layer. One that will be interacting with the applications, and second one will be interacting with your business logic. So some for interaction with application layer, some for interaction with business layer. So This is what the services are being type. Now what is exactly the anatomy? One second. Hello. नाही दाजी मी एक नाही आहे माझा, मी माझं लेक्चरमध्ये मी तुम्हाला फ्री झाले फोन करतो. ओके. Anatomy of service oriented architecture. Now there are logical components in web services. Now this is the first point we need to understand. There are some logical components. Now logical components means the components which cannot be visualized by your eyes. It is just an operations that will be working on that. So logical components, any services, when it goes for any operation, you see that there is operation. These are called as a web service portion 2 operations. So here the service will be operating on 2 operations. So this is nothing but your logical components of web services. So one services with some business logic, that is one of the logical component. Now second logical component can be your messages also. Operational processing SOAP messages. This is again a logical component. So component 1 is nothing but your operations. Second component is your messages, and third is nothing but a basic communication scenario between web services. So when one service get interact with another service, the intermission between the two, that is from operation to your messaging, so that type of operation, this is another component. So overall, whenever any service interact with another service, it is transferring some operation, and that operation may contain some type of messages. So overall this is called as an activity. So when we talk about logical components, we need to think about operations also, we need to think about the messages also, and we need to think about the activity as a whole also. So these are all things called as an logical components of web services. So whenever we talk about the anatomy of service oriented architecture, logical components are most important. Now second important thing, what all components are required for automation logic. So these are logical components. Now automation, whenever you want to do some automatic operations, so it should be done automatically. So for that purpose, these are the major 4 components which are required for logical components. So this is the logical component, and this will be working for the implementation and execution of that atomic logical components in automatic way. So there is SOAP messaging, there is web service operations, there is web services, and there are activities. So these are the basic 4 components that will be required as a part of making it automatic for a logical component. So whenever we talk about anatomy, you will come across that there is a logical components, and that logical component will be executed by these 4 different types of components. So you should know logical components also, and how it has been processed automatically by these logical components. Now exactly we talk about components of service oriented architecture, because they are the most important, what you call as when we go for anatomy of service oriented architecture. So you should know what all the major components are there in service oriented architecture. So we'll see, message is one of the component, operation is an component, service is an component, and process is one component. Now message means what? Whenever any operation interact with one another, any operation, any what you call a service interact with one another, the data which is transferring to and fro is called as a message, Now operation, if I want to do something, I am putting everything in a logic called as what you call as a logical components, and that logical component is nothing but an operation. So operation will be initiating your messaging, but what is most important, that is operation. So operation is one of the important thing, and service, because without service you cannot work. So the service that will be providing something to something. So here there is a sender service and there is a receiver service. So service is another most important component of service oriented architecture. And finally, when multiple services come together, becomes a process. So there is again what is called as high level component of your service oriented architecture. So multiple services coming together for one business logic or for one business problem to resolve, it is called as process. So process, service, operation, and message, these are the basic 4 components of service oriented architecture. Yes, are you clear with this? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll talk about the common principle. Now when we talk about common principle, this is a question been 100% asked. Now you should know these are the 3, 6, 7, 8. These are the 8 basic what you call as principles of service oriented architecture. So what are the principles? So whenever you are there for creating anything, whenever you are there for creating some new thing, you have to go through one of the type of principles. So principle is nothing but a rules and regulation set before the product is being created. So whenever you are creating any service oriented applications, service oriented architectures, at that situation you should follow this principle, because if the product is following this principle, then only we can say that the product is service oriented, else we cannot consider this as a service oriented. Okay, so if you are having a bag and books and you are with something, getting a knowledge about the computer programming language, then you can say that you are eligible or you are capable of doing some applications or doing some program on your computer. You cannot do finance task, you cannot do anything apart from the computers. So there are different perspective, there are different operations been going on. So you cannot be a chemical engineer after completing your MCA, you cannot be an automobile engineer after completing or computer education. So for being a computer engineer, you need to know the basic things. And what all basic things mean? It means you should know the programming language, you should know the database applications, you should know the recent technologies which are there, you should know the different types of algorithms being used in industry, you should know the culture of the industry, you should know what all things can be developed using a Windows or web or mobile applications. So if you are clear with that, that means you are ready for your job in IT. Same way, whenever you want to create some service oriented architecture, you need to have this basic 8 things. This should be there, then only you can say that your product is service oriented. So first one, reusable. So whenever you are creating any service, that service should be used multiple times, it should be reusable. It should not be made that only it should be applicable for only one product. So it should be used for multiple time in multiple ways also. So that is one more important thing of the principle of service oriented, that you have to create a service that will be immediately reused, opportunity exists, and the service should be designed in such a way that it should be potentially reusable for multiple time. Now second one, it should be a formal contract. So whenever any service is been interacting with another service, it should not be a dedicated. So if one service is being created, it is not being created to give a dedicated service to another service. It should be a versatile, it should not be a formal, it should be informal contract, that as the task is completed of that service, that will be removed, that will be plugged out from the next one service, and it will be available for the another service to use. So there should not be a formal contract, there should be a sharing of what we call as data being processed by the services. So that is most important thing when you go for designing any service. Now loosely coupled, as we say, the service should not be tightly coupled, it should be loosely. It means that it should be working on cross service department, it should be working on different platforms, it should be applicable, it should be reusable by different applications. So it means that we have to create a service that should be loosely coupled with one another, based on just like what we do is that if you want to interact with the internet, what you do is that you directly call the service provider and you get connected. If you don't want the internet to be used, what you do is that you go for deactivating that service. So loosely coupling means what? If you want, you can use it, if you don't want, you don't use it. Now abstract underlying logic. Now you have to, whatever logic it is that you have to keep it in abstract situation. Abstract means what? That need to be viewed only in overview. Your basic logic should not be displayed. What exactly logic you have implemented in your services, so that need to be reserved, and only the abstract means what? A short definition of your services should be visible. Rest, complicated part, and the logic that you have applied, it should be suppressed from the external services. Then composable. You need to create a service that need to be updated as and when required. So composable means what? As and when the service application goes in development or for upgradation, your service should be written in such a way that it should be reconstructed or recomposed as and when required. Then autonomous. Now each service should not be dependent on another service, it should be independent. The word autonomous means what? You should be self-reluctant, and you should not be specified that you are dependent on another service. So independent services you need to create whenever you go for service orientation. And next one, stateless feeling. Now stateless means what? Whatever services you are creating, it should not be for a specific location, or it should not be for the specific task only. So you have to create a service that should be stateless, and it should not reside, it should not spare its time for just maintaining its state position. So maintaining a state position means what? You are always giving an information that where, in what situation your service is that. So you have to be a stateless. Stateless means what? The user whenever interact, any service interact with your service should be ready, and it should not wait for another service to get completed. And last one, it should be discoverable as and when required. If service want to have some task or interaction with your service need to be discoverable by your architecture as and when required. If these all features are there, then only we can say there your service oriented architecture will be efficient and will be handling the business application logic and business problems, and will be resolved by using service oriented architecture. So are you clear with this one? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is the most important thing when we talk about service oriented architecture. Yes, Abhijit, any question you want to ask?
No, sir.
So write a solution for this. Now what is expected in examination, that reusable you need to explain in detail what is formal contract, that need to be explained, what is loosely coupled. So this is what we have discussed. In the same way you have to write your answer, and this question is probably asked for 10 marks. So 10 marks 100% question will be asked on a common principle of service oriented architecture. And as far as this subject is concerned, this is chapter number 2. We have already covered with message exchange pattern. Then we have gone into detail about coordination, atomic transition. Then we have discussed about business activities, orchestration, choreography. In yesterday's session we have completed with addressing reliable messaging, policies and correlation, and security and notification. Now today's session we have talked about the principle, that is a common principle of service oriented architecture, and we have talked about the anatomy of service oriented architecture. So only 2 points of these chapters, and we have completed with this chapter number 2. I am expecting that you should be ready, because it is 25% of weightage. So in your question paper at least 15 to 20 marks question will be asked on this chapter. So probably if 10 marks question is asked, it is always common principles of service oriented architecture. And if it is short notice asked, it may ask you orchestration, choreography, or atomic transition, or coordination, or message exchange pattern, or anatomy of service oriented architecture may be asked. So be ready with your solution. We'll meet on day after tomorrow